In this lesson, we're learning how to arrange a still life using found objects from around the house to learn about composition, rule of thirds, and balance. This is going to teach us how to organize a photo so that the focus is on what we want. It's very important that before you set up your still life, you're making sure you're doing it in a place where it will be undisturbed by other people in your home. Make sure it will be untouched and out of the way of others. To set up your still life, you're going on a scavenger hunt and you're going to find 5 objects to draw. 4 of them must have different heights, and at least 3 of them must be overlapping in your photo. 2 of those items must have personal meaning to you, and you must use the rule of thirds to place your tallest object compositionally in one of the thirds of your photograph. And I'll explain a little bit more about that later. One of the objects that I chose that has personal meaning is this shell that I got from Venice Beach in Italy when I studied abroad. And the second object with personal meaning is this paper crane that a student made me earlier this year in my other student teaching placement. And then the other objects I chose were this blow pop. I like the texture of the wrapper, and I think that would be really interesting to draw and make contour lines. And I also chose this notebook, and even though it's really flat, I like the rings on the binding, and I think it'd be fun to set objects on top of and create an arrangement. And the last object I chose is this mug. Now we're going to arrange our still life. Try not to get fixated on your very first idea. Play around a little bit with the composition. Objects can prop up other objects, or stand on top of one another, or sit inside other objects. Some objects might be almost completely overlapped and not showing as much. Play around with where you want your focus to be and see how your arrangement shifts that focus. Once you're happy with your arrangement and you've played with all the little details and how you can angle and face objects, then you're ready to take a photo. Now, this is where you're going to follow the rule of thirds. To follow the rule of thirds, I'm going to take my composition and I'm going to imagine I'm splitting it into thirds like this. So you can see where these imaginary lines intersect. Wherever they intersect, that is 1/3 of the photograph where it compositionally looks a lot better to have instead of just having something dead center in your photo. So in my case, the tallest object I have is that sucker since it's propped up inside of the mug. So I'm going to make sure, and you can see here, that that sucker is in one of those intersections where those imaginary lines are. So I'm going to take a photo and make sure that that's in one of the thirds. Once you have followed all of those rules and you're happy with your arrangement, snap a photo and submit it.